guys, how's it going? Great. Today we're going to talk about different ways of adding value to your artwork. So each time we draw something, we're going to try to make it look like a sphere like this. So this has some different parts. As you can see, the light source is coming from over here. So if the light is shining this way on a sphere, you'll get a highlight here, as we can see. You'll get some midtones here, and you can see that it gradually blends from light to light gray, medium, darker, darker, gradually darker. Here's the core shadow area, curves because it's a sphere. On a sphere, you're going to get a little bit of reflected light right here at the bottom of the sphere, and because this sphere is not floating in air, it's on a table, we will have a cast shadow. So it's important to know the parts, and here we go. You're going to start by drawing 5 circles. So just use a stencil to draw your circles. Go ahead and draw them in your sketchbook. Okay, I've got 5 circles. Let's go ahead and label this also. Value rendering techniques. Because these are different ways to render or show value. All right, let's put this right next to here so we can see what we're going for and what we're doing. Our goal each time is to make it look like a realistic sphere, but some ways that I'm going to show you to render value have more artistic flair, and so you can pick and choose which technique to use where. Our light source is always going to be from over here, so unless you have a sphere in front of you, you kind of just have to pretend that you're seeing this sphere. The first technique I'm going to teach you is called hatching. Go ahead and write that so we can label it and we know what it is. Hatching is a way of using lines, parallel lines, to show value. So here we go. Still have my highlights here. It gets a little bit darker as I go further out into the circle. Still trying to show value. Try to stay inside the sphere. Now that kind of makes this all look like white and this kind of look like a light gray. So if you want to make your hatching appear darker, you can make the lines thicker. You can overlap them, or you can put them closer together. So down here, I'm going to do some more. I'm going to draw a little bit darker. And I'm putting my lines closer together. A few more right here. Go over that. Closer together. Let's see if I have an eraser. I'm going to do it even closer right here, and then I'm going to erase a little bit right there for that reflected light. The shadow is going to go all the way to the edge. What you don't want to do when you're hatching is to keep just doing this without picking your pencil up. Make sure you pick up your pencil each time. Each time is a different line. Okay, let's get that reflected light and just lighten it a little bit right there. Okay, good. Now, for the cast shadow, we still want to put that there, but I'm going to use hatching again to draw that. Think about what shape it needs to be in. It needs to look like it's the shadow of a sphere. There we go, a little bit darker in the middle, so let's draw more lines closer together. There we go. There's hatching. This one's actually called blending. All right, finish that up, and then we'll do another one. The next one is going to be cross hatching. If this is hatching that we just did, cross hatching is exactly how it sounds. You're going to be crossing the hatch marks. So our goal is still to make it look realistic. Our light source is still coming from here. First, we have to start by doing the hatching lines. Again, pick up your pencil each time. All right, that's plenty of hatching. Now let's do some cross hatching. So you just cross the lines. Usually they're pretty perpendicular. Again, these are each separate lines. Don't go like this. Pick up your pencil each time. I'm going to get really close together here. That one was too dark. Alright. Let's erase a little bit of that reflected shadow here. That's pretty good. Let's do the cast shadow. And now let's cross hatch that. Get farther apart, and it gets lighter. I want it darker in the middle, so let's put them close together. Really dark down there underneath the sphere. That's pretty good, it's not bad. That's cross hatching. Are you ready for the third one? All right, the third technique is called stippling. So far we've done hatching, cross hatching. This is stippling. It's gonna take a while to do this, but if you have a larger pencil or a thicker marker, you could get that out. But basically, stippling, when you use it in a picture, If you're using stippling through the whole picture, that's called pointillism, but it's just using dots. And of course, the closer the dots get to each other, the darker it is. I'm going to use a marker. I'm going to cheat. And the farther apart the dots are, the lighter the value. Now, when everybody in the room is stippling at the same time, it sounds like a nice rain shower, like a gentle rain. It's very relaxing and peaceful, I think. If you do this all day, you could definitely get some arm muscles. It's a good workout. Like lifting weights. Okay, that's kind of an all-over gray. Again, I really wanted to get darker like right here. So I need to keep adding more and more dots until that value gets darker and darker. This still isn't dark enough for me. I'm gonna keep going. You know it would be good. Just a thicker marker. There we go. That's making some larger dots. Trying to be smart about this. It's not my best work, but all right, let's talk about the cast shadow. Just think about what shape it's going to be in. It's an elongated sphere, which is called an oval. If the light were coming from up here, of course, the shadow would be just sort of maybe a circle underneath, but light's still coming from the upper left, and so this is what shape of a cast shadow you get. All right, I do want it to be a little bit darker right here. I don't like the shape of those dots. Well, that's what stippling is. If you want some nice, tiny light dots, this is how they would look with your pencil. Who's ready for scrumbling? This is what I call scrumbling. It's kind of like organized scribbling. So, I'm going to do it on a little sheet of paper first, just so you can kind of see what it's like. All right, if I'm doing scrumbling, it looks like this. I think it takes a little bit of an artistic flair to be, to be able to do it in a way that looks cool. So it's not. It could be this. I guess it could be if that's your style, but usually I don't just do swirls. I kind of go this way and that way. Right? Okay. That's scrumbling. So, if my light is coming from over here, I'm still going to draw it lighter with my pencil, not pushing as hard around this area that has the highlight. Here I get a little bit harder with my pencil, getting some darker lines. And the closer together your scrumbles, the darker the value you'll get too. So this dark area, I'm just going to keep going over it. And I can do tiny ones really close together right here. I want it to be really dark right there, right? See, that's a really dark area. Most people, when they're drawing, don't make the values dark enough. They just draw them really light and just really timidly, but don't be afraid to put a lot of pencil on your paper. It needs a lot of value. It's going to look really rich and really in-depth and really lifelike if you put those dark values there. So if you think to yourself, I think I have enough value, add more. Probably don't. That's pretty good. Let's do the cast shadow here. Fill that in. It's kind of fun to do scrumbling. It's really expressive way to add value, as you can see. Stippling is much more controlled, timid, very right-brained, very mathematical. Scrumbling is very free and expressive and wild. So if that's the kind of feeling you're trying to get with your artwork, use scrumbling. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. Finish up your scrumbling, then we'll talk about blending. Scrumbling. All right, the last technique is called blending. It's gonna be the one you want to use if you want to make it look realistic. We can imagine that this sphere right here is a very smooth sphere. It's maybe a plastic ball, and so the light is hitting it nice and evenly and gradually curving around that sphere and just going very smoothly from light to medium to dark. There's no lines where this all of a sudden stops being light. No lines where it all of a sudden stops being medium. It just blends. So we're going to blend it from light to